Warning, empty page. Contents. Cover. Additional praise for family trusts. Title page. Copyright. Dedication. Acknowledgements. Forward. Preface. What can this guide do for you? From positive stories to action steps. Note. Introduction. Principles. Notes. Part 1, Introducing the Trustscape. Chapter 1, Navigation works better when you have a destination in mind. Beyond the thought experiment. Questions for reflection. Note. Chapter 2, The Trustscape. Introducing your Trustscape. A dynamic tableau. A closing exercise. Note. Chapter 3, Some key terms. Chapter 4, Know your narratives. Depends where you're sitting. A thirst for education. Note. Part 2, The players. Chapter 5, The trust. A short description of a long history. A closing exercise. Notes. Chapter 6, The trustee. The trustee. Choices. Chapter 7, Beneficiaries and Trust Creators. Beneficiaries. Trust Creators. Notes. Chapter 8, The Trust Protector and the Trust Advisor. Trust Advisors. Trust Protectors. Choices. Part 3, Building Great Relationships. Chapter 9, Considerations prior to accepting appointment as trustee. So you've been asked to serve as trustee. Now for some homework. If you are new to the Trustscape, understanding the technical side. Almost there. A final step. Note. Chapter 10, Creating Preambles. Preambles and Purpose. But my trust was drafted 20 years ago. Themes and schemes. Preambles created by trustees and beneficiaries. Revisit the preamble. As you begin to create your preamble. Note. Chapter 11, Action Steps prior to the first trustee-beneficiary meeting. If you are a trustee. If you are a beneficiary. Note. Chapter 12, Positive Events, Supportive Responses. Matching Mindset to Task. Supportive Responses to Positive Events 3. Play to your strengths. Notes. Chapter 13, Trustee-Beneficiary Meetings. Pre-meeting checklists. If this is the first meeting. A sampling of agenda items. An appreciative exercise. Note. Chapter 14, Requests for Distribution. This worked because I knew Susan. The request process. Analysis of a request. About enhancement. Note. Chapter 15, Working with Addictions. Chapter 16, Trusts and Marriage. Prenuptials. Within marriage. Second marriages and beyond. Notes. Chapter 17, Transitions. Solomon's Ring. This too shall pass. Changing the trust. Changing the players. Coming to an end. Note. Part 4, A Comprehensive Model for a Humane Trustscape. Chapter 18, A Promise and a Challenge for Trust Creators. A Trust Creators Challenge. First, an exercise for trust creators. Note. Chapter 19, The Highest Duty of the Trustee and the Corresponding Responsibility of the Beneficiary. I wrote these great docs, but my clients won't sign. The highest duty of the trustee and the corresponding responsibility of the beneficiary. Support for the trustee. Support for the beneficiary. Chapter 20, The Distribution Committee and the Office of the Beneficiary. Distribution Committee. The Office of the Beneficiary. Conclusion. Chapter 21, The Trustee and the Trust Protector Revisited. Which caps on top? A different approach. Reconsidering the institutional trustee. Note. Appendices. Appendix 1, Sample Legacy Letter. Appendix 2, Sample Language Regarding Addiction. Appendix 3, The Distribution Committee. The Core Concept. Committee Members. Drafting Points. Appendix 4, Private Trust Companies. Definitions. PTCs versus Individual Trustees. Governance. Best Practices. Appendix 5, Family Trust Review. Purpose. Content. Process. Why commission a family trust review? Opportunities for commissioning a family trust review. Note. Appendix 6, Reflections on the Often Unexpected Concept. Additional praise for family trusts. In Chap 1 of Loring and Rounds, A Trustee's Handbook, the authors remind its readers that the Anglo-American trust is an ancient principles-based regime that will survive into the 21st century only so long as it is administered by persons of principle. As a practical matter, what does that mean? Family trusts does an admirable job of answering that question, and in prose that will be readily understandable not only to the trust professional but also to the family member new to the trustscape. Charles E. Rounds, Jr., Professor of Law, Suffolk University Law School. At long last a clear and concise guidebook for those who don't understand the complexities of family trusts. The three authors offer practical strategies and sample documents for many trust challenges: why to set up a trust, how to select a good trustee, and how to be a good trustee or beneficiary. Start with the chapter that applies to your case, and you will be compelled to read the other related chapters. And grantors need to read it all, before they sign or revise their estate plans. Sarah Hamilton, Founder and CEO, Family Office Exchange. A trust is a powerful tool that too often turns beneficiaries into trust fund babies, creates resentments and rifts among family members, and ultimately deforms many a family's legacy. Family trusts helps wealthy families and their advisors avoid those outcomes by building what they call a comprehensive model for a humane trustscape. No grantor should plan their estate, no beneficiary should accept their next check, and no advisor should meet with their next client without first reading this book. Angelo Robles, Founder and Chairman, Family Office Association. The authors tell us that 80% of beneficiaries view trusts as a burden, yet over 90% of private wealth is tied up in some form of trust by the time of the third generation. Hence these trusts become arranged marriages between the beneficiaries and the trustees. This insightful guide walks one through how to best prepare for that meteor moment by focusing on creating the best culture for these new arrangements to not only survive, but flourish. Thomas R. Livergood, Founder and CEO, the Family Wealth Alliance. Jay has outdone himself once again. Family Trusts combines his and his CEO authors many years of trust wisdom with a practical and theoretical guide to both creating and administering trusts with an important emphasis on family values. Hartley, J., and Keith's eminent qualifications to author such a book are powerfully displayed throughout. The book is a must-read for all trust professionals. Al King III, CEO, South Dakota Trust Company LLC. Warning, empty page. Since 1996, Bloomberg Press has published books for financial professionals, as well as books of general interest in investing, economics, current affairs, and policy affecting investors and business people. Titles are written by well-known practitioners, Bloomberg News registered trademark reporters and columnists, and other leading authorities and journalists. Bloomberg Press books have been translated into more than 20 languages. For a list of available titles, please visit our website at www.wiley.com/go/Bloomberg Press. Family Trusts. A guide for beneficiaries, trustees, trust protectors, and trust creators. J. Hughes. In the 1980s, Joni Bronfman, Richard Bakel, and I began a journey that continues to this day. We sought to try to make the relationships among the creator of a trust, its trustee, and its beneficiary comprehensible to all and humane. We set out to determine and define the rules and responsibilities of these three functions, which together shape each trust's culture and structure, the combination of which my co-author, Hartley Goldstone, later defined as the trustscape. The early results of our efforts appeared in 1997 in my book Family Wealth, Keeping It in the Family. Networks. Those results have, over the years, been improved upon by many, and they are taken to a much deeper level in this book. In the late 1980s, Peter White, Joni Bronfman, and D'Andrea and I convened what I believe was the first gathering exclusively of trust beneficiaries. We had found, to our surprise in our professional practices, that many beneficiaries felt their trusts were burdens, not blessings. We wondered why a trust, which seemed on its face to be such a benefit, seemed so often to turn out to be the opposite. When we decided to host this gathering, we invited 50 or more people, expecting that 10 might accept. To our amazement,